At Watkins Glen, it's not merely racing, it's dancing. Rolling and turning, rising and falling, synchronized, harmonized. Where racers and their machines can't attack the track, they must move with it. Where wheel work follows the lead of footwork. Heel toe, left brake, shift. One ill-tuned instrument.
Rebel off of turn number 9. Big wreck behind you.
One sour note.
Oh, big crash in turn number 2.
David Rudiman hard into the wall.
One toe out of place.
Harvick is not a guy you want to mess with. They're going to fight. I want to see this.
And the performance can come crashing down.
Oh, Lord. There's a huge wreck.
The chase clock is ticking toward midnight. The ballroom is beginning to empty. It's win now, or be asked to leave the floor.
Great crowd on hand. 75-degree day. Pace car is off. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series going racing on the road course in Watkins Glen. Interloop for the first time. Another one of those great passing opportunities, but great trouble opportunities.
Yeah, it's a lot of risk and reward in trying to outbrake someone into that interloop part. Kyle Busch wasted no time getting himself off to a good start here.
The one thing I did see there is a lot of give and take getting into turn 1 and up into the interloop.
Turn 6, one of the few left-handers in a lap, then the hard right-hand turn 7 to complete a lap at the Glen.
Yeah, see a new patch of concrete there as you enter that turn 7. Most of the drivers say it's not giving them too much trouble now.
Here comes Ambrose, going to jump out of line, try and get a spot on Ryan Newman. Ambrose in the 9.
He makes that look so easy the way he does that, but I'll tell you, it takes a lot of skill and technique.
It does, and he passes more cars here than anyone else I've ever seen race it on this road course. It doesn't matter where he starts, he just finds a way at these high braking areas in particular, make it look easy and make the pass.
Brian Vickers came down pit road, first time by, and has gone back into the garage. Follow up on that in a minute. Second, third, and fourth, Montoya 42, Keselowski 2, Jimmy Johnson 48.
Yeah, Johnson's looked twice there to the interloop to the right side of the 2-car Brad Keselowski, but I'm not sure he's doing that or just blocking behind him more because he really hasn't been close enough to make a pass.
Well, you get a good look at how the start has sorted out and the cars have shuffled into line. Let's get an update on what's happened to Brian Vickers, Doc.
Well, crew chief Rodney Childers said 2 words to me. He said, Doc, blew up.
Man.
That basically sums it up.
Boy, that's a bummer to have an engine problem this early. knocked right out.
Makes you wonder if there was a missed shift there somewhere, possibly to create something this early.
I can tell you that this kind of racing is the hardest it can be on equipment. Engines, drivetrains, brake, everything you can think of. This kind of racing is very hard on equipment.
Still watching that fight for second behind Kyle Busch. And can't stress enough, call this the super speedway of road courses, how fast they're going around here between those barriers and into some of those heavy braking zones. We saw in qualifying yesterday cars at this part of the racetrack braking for that inner loop 182 miles an hour.
Yeah, and you're doing that as you get ready to approach that, where you're having to check your mirror and look in front if you're trying to make a pass or just trying to make a block from behind, knowing they can come from either side. So that's just what makes this so difficult. You see Dale Jr. take a look there too, trying to get around Michael McDowell.
That's for 12th place. McDowell in the 98, Jr. in the 88. And the 78 right there too.
Yeah, Michael McDowell with a great qualifying effort there yesterday.
For the Phil Parsons racing team. McDowell considered an excellent road racer. Here's Regan Smith, New York native, that Furniture Row car, 78. Followed underneath McDowell by Greg Biffle in the 16.
Yeah, I saw Greg Biffle and talked to him a little bit this morning. He was really happy with his car in race runs. He said, I got a little bit loose qualifying, but he felt like that he could work his way to the front here today. Carl Edwards following him through.
Carl Edwards did such a good job yesterday. I mean, just a masterful job of driving to get that win. I'm not sure he had the best car, but he came back to the start-finish line first at the end of it.
So while we look at how things have sorted out here, Andy, let's just mention again, in last year's race, there was almost a non-stop parade of cars on pit road for that first green flag stop, starting at lap 4.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the strategy can get really confusing if you try to keep up with everyone, because there's going to be quite a few different ones that maybe are planning on making an extra pit stop. Some are going to try to divide it up evenly, and some that can actually go a lot farther on fuel than others. And you can tune these things to get better mileage, give up a little power. I've heard as much as 40 horsepower you can give up and gain a lot of fuel mileage. So you just don't know exactly how teams have them tuned.
You see right there an example, Marcus Ambrose, and because of his reputation, dove down into one, got out of Jimmy Johnson's mirror sight, and Jimmy actually gave him room when Ambrose probably wasn't there. Johnson's going to hold the spot right now.
That's a tricky part of the racetrack to try and make a pass in up through the S's, high speed, uphill, narrow.
That's just a smart move on Johnson's part, because it's still early, and he might end up just giving the spot to Ambrose if he feels like he's going to have to play defense every corner.
But when you're so good at that, and that's what your reputation is, you have to respect that, thinking that more than likely that driver, and in this case Ambrose, has probably stuck his nose in there because he is very capable of making that happen.
Up what they call the short chute, even though it's the middle of the 3 in length on the racetrack.
Still, you carry a lot of speed there. You downshift into this left-hander, turn 6, so you're carrying a lot of speed. You have to match the RPMs. You don't want to get wheel hopping into that corner either.
Ambrose setting him up for a run down the hill to 1. Kyle Busch leading, Juan Pablo Montoya second. Montoya started on pole. Kyle started on the outside of the front row, but on the brake on the initial start, running up the hill into the S's. It was Kyle who squeezed by Montoya and cut himself out front. Marcos Ambrose and Bobby Labonte made green flag pit stops during the break. That is Stephen Light in the 33 pulling out the black car, while Jeff Gordon rolls down to the attention of his crew, Doc.
Yeah, the 4-time champion and 4-time Watkins Glen winner. You heard him on the radio talking about how loose the car was, particularly from the center of the turn off. They're going to take air out of the tires and go down on the track bar. Outside tires on, come around to the inside. And there is the track bar adjustment as they top it off with Sunoco. Mike.
Kevin Harvick saying he's tight to the left in the S's. They're going to change the air pressure back to the settings they had in practice. A 4-tire change, he's away.
36 car Dave Blaney is the white car following Kevin Harvick down the pit lane also. Harvick, former winner here. Certainly could use something good to happen, because it has been not as good a performing as we expected stretch for Harvick in that 29. Here's Brad Keselowski. Dave?
This car is tight all the way through this course today. It will not turn for him, even though he's been running up in the top 5. A good run for him so far. They're going to make a, looks like a wedge adjustment for him, full of Sunoco fuel, slight air pressure adjustment as well. The 5 of Casey Kane is on pit road as well. Casey's biggest problem is his air conditioning unit began smoking. It was filling his helmet with smoke, so he disconnected it entirely. His car also won't turn, so they'll make a 4-tire stop. They'll make a track bar adjustment on the 5.
That can't be a comfortable feeling.
No, not smoke coming in there. When they just stop working is enough, but then whenever they're putting out some smoke, that's very distracting.
Aaron Calmarola in, Mike.
4 tires and make an air pressure adjustment, trying to get him a little bit more grip than he desperately needs. Almirola away.
Speeding penalty for Stephen Light, too fast exiting. Pass-through penalty coming for the 33. And still waiting to see most of the front runners make their opening pit stops, including that man Kyle Busch, who's led every lap of the race so far.
Watch some of the lap times and seeing how much these new tires are worth. Watching Jimmy Johnson's lap times versus Kyle's. He was losing about a half a second a lap to the 18 before he pitted. Now he's gaining that much and maybe just a little more, maybe about 7/10 of a lap on the new tire.
So going back to that conversation when the 48 made the pit stop about maybe being a 3-stop race and some other people trying to 2-stop it.
A lot of times you're just forced into it. I mean, talk about the 48 team, really has not demonstrated the ability to get good mileage, good enough to make it on 2 stops. So then you're kind of stuck with that, trying to make the most of it.
Jamie McMurray, trouble. That is at the inner loop where he is. The damage on the left side of the car probably tells me he has some trouble under the S's somewhere.
I would guess that trouble happened.
Tire back there.
Possibly might have blown a tire.
You can see the crease in the door where the guardrail, where he got up against the guardrail.
Jamie was running 7th at the time.
That car is destroyed.
By 2.
There's nowhere good for that tire to blow, but that's one of the worst spots.
We're just wrecked.
The imprint of the guardrail in the sheet metal.
You can just see, I mean, it just creamed that guardrail.
He just had got to 4th gear, so he's getting up to not quite to maximum speed, but you get up to over 180 as you enter the inner loop, but well over 150 miles an hour there.
I'd be kind of concerned as a crew chief to see what caused that, and if the other, especially the teammate like say Montoya, I'd like to know what that was. Was it brake heat that maybe charred the D, or did he run over something?
Yeah, you'd have to think that that's a real possibility 25 laps into this race.
So McMurray goes to the garage. Caution benefiting Marcos Ambrose and Brad Keselowski just in front of him, for that matter, because they had pitted under the green. Now guys that haven't stopped yet are going to have to pit, and they've been able to close the gap on those guys here under this caution.
Yeah, that definitely plays to the advantage of the guys that are on the 3-stop strategy. They get to make up a lot of the time that they lost by making that. They get to pull up. I'm not sure that we'll see these leaders even make a pit stop now, but they'll have to make it at some point, and they'll end up losing the lead. But these guys get to make up about 2 miles of track time.
That's Kurt Busch in the 51, left rear. Looks like it's coming apart on that car.
Left rear tire just blew out.
Well, that broke right off the car.
Left rear tire just fell off.
Yeah, that's looks like the wheel's still intact. Looks like all the lug nuts must have fell off.
They had such high hopes.
He had made a pit stop earlier.
Coming to this race after a great 3rd place run at Sonoma.
Well,
I take that back. He has not made a pit stop.
I was thinking he hadn't made the pit stop yet, and he's taken that back to the garage. I didn't have him down as being on the pit lane. The season of frustration for Kurt and this team. You know, they run well, and then things happen.
Yeah, this is, I mean, having a wheel come off the car, that's definitely somebody didn't do something right.
Kurt was running 11th at the time of the caution. There is the race for the lead. Brad Keselowski in the 2, being dogged by Marcos Ambrose in the 9. Johnson in 3rd, Truex, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr. running in 8th. Clint Boyer, our in-race reporter, running 9th, but reporting a problem on that machine. Mike?
Yeah, and all was smooth until moments ago when he radioed in saying he's got problems with his brakes. The pedal awfully squishy. Said he went all the way to the floor at one point and had nothing. So very much a concern there for the 15.
Yeah, that's a concern. Yeah, because that's not going to get better throughout this day. So it may be a situation they may have to come in, get some fluid in this, and bleed the brakes, which is going to take a while.
Yeah, they may end up having to change calipers and all. We're not even halfway.
Boyer running just ahead of Jeff Gordon, who's lost a handful of positions in the last few laps. That 24 car not to his liking.
Now hang tough, bud. Oh, we are junk, man. We are absolute junk.
He lost a lot of spots here in this run. I don't know what's wrong. We heard he was loose earlier. Thought maybe we saw a little fender damage, but he is, I'll go along with that. He is kind of junk right now.
Yeah, we know some of these other cars, they got tires on that last caution, have a little fresher tires, but it's not like he had a lot of laps on his. But the back of that group there, you can see Tony Stewart, he's been on the move since the restart. He started 25th on lap 30. It's up 12 spots now.
Yes, sir.
Who said you couldn't pass on road course? Not Tony.
No. Tony and Marcus Ambrose as we go for the lead.
What a surprise. Marcus Ambrose is leading at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I'm not a bit surprised he's leading, but I'm not sure that he doesn't have to make 2 more pit stops. And I'm almost certain that the 2 car will only have to make 1 more. So probably a good move by Keselowski just to let him go if he's putting too much pressure on him.
While Ambrose is out in front, one Pablo Montoya, who started in front, is in the garage, Vince.
In fact, problems for both the Ganassi cars, both in the left front portion of the car. How about yours, Juan? Exactly what was the issue with that situation?
I think it was the lower control arm. You know, everybody in the starting Chevy has been doing an amazing job. You know, got the last 2 poles, and you know, I did think we had a car to win today. I ride behind Kyle. We kind of bucked down out of the start, and Kyle got us, but I rode behind him all the run, and we got a good pit stop and got ahead of him, and it was looking really good. Everything like it was going according to plan, and the car started getting really tight, and also when I hit a curb, and the car went completely left on me. So
try to get back out.
I think so. We're trying to fix the score a little bit of points. You know, it's been, I think it's like be like my 5th DNF we wouldn't finish. So it's been a tough year.
Alan?
It has been a tough year, and Montoya, one of several back in the garage area as Watkins Glen has taken its early toll. We're just shy of halfway. I just want to mention, by way of full disclosure, I know there's only a 30% chance of scattered showers today, but as we look at the radar west of the racetrack, there are a couple of those scattered showers. We'll keep an eye on it and hope it scatters away. Marcos Ambrose leading at Watkins Glen. Here's a look back through your top 10. Keselowski 2nd. Johnson 3rd. Kyle's up to 4th. Harvick, Edwards Jr., and Clint Boyer racing there with Tony Stewart for that 10th spot. We reported on some brake problems a little while ago. Any update, Mike?
It seems like the situation has stabilized a little bit. The brakes have not completely gone away yet, but there are signs that they're invading. Meanwhile, Boyer just trying to keep his head up, and Brian Patty encouraging him.
If you can sneak a little rear brake to it to help you out, do what you can. You're doing a really good job. Still clear by 7. Great pace. You and the Tony, it's fine, dude. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're clear by 20 out back. Great pace. 12-7, same out front.
I just walked up on top of the pit box and spoke with Brian Patty, asking him what he thought the problem was. His opinion is he just got them too hot. They're going to pull some tape from the brake ducting. Next pit stop, Doc.
And you saw Tony Stewart make that pass. Tony has now gained 3 positions in about a lap and a half. Why? Because you heard Alan say a moment ago, and actually Steve Addington told his driver, said, hey, Tony, we got some rain about 20 minutes out. I want to hustle a little bit. So now Tony on the move.
Now hustling he has to after a penalty on his pit stop when they carried the fuel can out of the pit box that sent Tony Stewart back to 25th. He's now up to 9th spot.
Well, he saddled up and rode that thing to the front, didn't he?
Wow. Casey Kane trying to crack the top 10 in the 5 car.
Yeah, most drivers will consider this a little easier track to drive than the other road courses. Sonoma, Casey kind of favors the opposite way. And it's, of course, he's won out there, and that makes a big difference in what you do. But I talked to him the other day. He felt like his car was decent. He said, I think we definitely are a top 10 car. If we play the right strategy, get a break, we could get in the top 5.
How about this 5 car, Dave?
He was one of the interesting stories of the morning if you were walking around the garage area. The welder and the grinder on the 5 car. They found at the rear of the car where the track bar mounts to the truck arm, there were some things they didn't like, some little fractures, and they were reinforcing. Kenny says it's stronger than when we started the weekend, but they want to do some reinforcing for him. It's been running great since that pit stop. They made some adjustments, made it better for Casey.
That's one of the weaker links in that suspension is that track bar mounting system. You go back and forth, you work it back and forth, and you go over all these curves. It makes it really bad. Here comes Ambrose, Mike.
On lap 20, Todd Parrott called for a track bar adjustment. Marcos Ambrose said it made the car better. They're going to actually make a further track bar adjustment here, trying to improve it yet some more. 4 tires on the 9. Vince.
Jimmy Johnson tied into 2, loose everywhere else. A 4-tire change, a track bar adjustment.
Kevin Harvick saying he's tight in the S's. That's been the case throughout the course of the day. They'll make an air pressure adjustment, taking a little bit of air out of the front tires and a 4-tire change for Harvick.
Brad Keselowski goes to the lead after Ambrose makes a green flag pit stop here.
Yeah, we're going to see the 2 car, if he's on that 2-stop strategy, which I firmly believe he is, he'll have to go about 14 more laps. About 10 laps, actually. He probably has to go 10 to 14 more laps before he can make it.
Dave Blaney is off the racetrack. They had a rear end housing wobbling around in that car, like maybe they'd broken the track bar. Jeff Burton appears to be slow, and there is Kyle Busch running in second, and the gap up to Brad Keselowski, the race leader. Well, strategies being played, cards are being placed on the table. Those chips are being emptied up too. What's going to be the winning strategy today at the Glen? Keselowski getting it done by 4.8 seconds over Kyle Busch, with Martin Truex Jr., Carl Edwards, and now Tony Stewart rounding out the top 5. Marcos Ambrose is back in 14th. He's made his second pit stop already. Hearing Brad Keselowski in that 2, maybe hanging a right turn onto the pit lane right now. Not this lap. 43, Almirola behind him, just came off the pit lane from a green flag stop. He's got fresh tires. Tony Stewart. Remember that first pit stop didn't go so well. So Doc, they'll be needing to make this one clean and quick.
Absolutely. Big yes. Goose Patterson is the gas man here. And if you jerk a gasket out of his hand, you've done something. So we'll watch and see what can happen. Tony's in the car a little bit loose on the right-hand turn. They're going to be very close to making it on field. In fact, they may need a half a dozen yellow flag laps to be able to make it from here to the checker flag. Inside tires going yellow. Now Goose got the gas can in. The can is out, and the smoke is gone.
All right, Doc, and while we keep an eye on the leader coming up to the opening to pit lane again, we'll tell you that Joey Logano and Juan Pablo Montoya have come back onto the track from the garage area. Jeff Burton has gone to the garage area. And here's your leader, headed for pit road. 4 40 miles an hour, the pit road speed limit. A penalty now would be devastating. And again, a clean and quick stop, the order of the day for Penske Racing and Brad Keselowski, Dave.
And Alan, he shouldn't need much in the way of adjustments. He's been pretty happy with it. He said it was lacking a little bit of forward bite and a little bit of turn. But he said also that he saved his team 3 or 4 laps of fuel while on the track. That helped him back away from the lap 60 pit and pit sooner. Now I think we're going to call it 56 or 57. He'll get a track car adjustment with that. Mike?
Clint Bowyer on pit road now as the team goes to work on that car. Remember the brake problem they were experiencing. They pull some tape. You can see it right there from the ducting trying to cool it off. Vince?
The 88 of Dale Jr. just leaving his pit box after a 4-tire change and air pressure adjustment, trying to tighten him up.
There's Greg Biffle, Doc.
Yep, Greg said I'm loose both ways. They're going to put the air pressure back where it was. Going to go down on the track bar a little bit. 4 tires fuel. They might be able to make a little difference here down on the way. Flawless pit stop.
Oh no, is Truex out of gas?
It sure looks like it. That's about the worst place you could possibly be out.
Caution for oil, possibly from this 11 car. Well, I'm going to not say possibly anymore.
Yeah, that's a blown engine for sure. You see fire under the hood or under the car.
And Denny Hamlin's nightmare at Watkins Glen of the last few years continues.
Well, he's not had any luck here, has he? I'll tell you, this is a huge break, though, for Brad Keselowski, just making that pit stop before this yellow.
And a couple of cars that look to be on the 2-stop strategy. Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards still out there, though.
Ambrose is coming in with these other leaders. Vince?
Well, Kyle Busch was just getting ready to come in when that yellow came. No changes on the car, just 4 tires and fuel. They're hoping that that yellow didn't cost them. Mike?
There was some concern in the 22 camp that they might not have enough fuel to even make it down pit road. They were that close. They'll gas it up. They'll make a chassis adjustment because it's been tight, especially in the carousel and a 4-tire change for Hornish. James.
Carl Edwards was worried about the very same thing, whether or not he'd have fire in the hole. Right now, he does. The car is working. Wedge adjustment tight in the right-handers right now. Doc.
Jeff Gordon just apologized to the crew, guys. He said, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm doing the best I can. We just don't have any grip. Alan said, we got to fix it. So they decided to come in, and they're going to add a spring rubber in the rear, top it off with fuel, Sunoco fuel, 4 tires. They got to help him get some grip getting up off the corner. He's away.
You're going to see Carl Edwards. Well, he won't even show up on this because he's not in the top 10 still. He was in there forever. He had some trouble getting fire up in that car because he might have been out of fuel coasting to the pit lane. Caution out just the second time. We just add Greg Biffle to the list of guys who pitted under the yellow. Kyle Busch is going to be 6th on the restart.
Yeah, and I'm watching this 15 car, Clint Bowyer. He's had brake issues. What's going to happen on this restart as they go down into turn 1? Ambrose in that 9 car knows that right now he's got to make up as much as he can with these fresh tires on this restart, get as many cars as he can to get himself back in position to win. Tony Stewart with a bold move by Clint Bowyer there getting into the inner loop.
Bold move hopping that curve coming off turn 1 where he had to wrestle the car off the side of Bowyer too.
There's 2 cars in the top 10, and we didn't think we were going to be that good today. It's the 88 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the 17 of Matt Kenseth. They're both up there in the top 10, battling it out.
There's Ambrose on Kenseth, 9 and 17. That's for 7th place.
That's already 2 spots that Ambrose has made up in this first lap of green flag racing.
Let's go back to Earnhardt Kenseth. Between the 2 of those, they've only got 2 top 10 finishes in the last 15 road course races.
Jimmy Johnson trying to take a spot from Sam Hornish.
on, keep going. Still inside of here. Come on. You're all good, all good.
So you got that pit road speeding penalty. He's kind of gone downhill, which we see many times. Here comes Kyle Busch trying to make a move on Greg Biffle.
Nothing there. Again, I mentioned a 30% chance of a scattered shower. The forecast for the period of the race today, but there are some showers on the radar. We just keep hoping they scatter elsewhere. Marcus Ambrose after another spot.
Yeah, another one of those just perfect moves that only he and a couple others can make as they go into that turn 6. Just you don't even see it. Looks like they're making a huge effort of outbreaking them, but they make it look so smooth and make the pass. What happened to Casey Kane last time? Looked like maybe a little assist there from Martin Truex Jr., who had to go back to 22nd on the restart after pitting too soon when he ran out of fuel.
Went to 76, stop. Get down, get down, get down, get down, get down. Okay, you're clear.
And now Kane is on the pit lane under the green flag while we follow the leaders around the course. Kyle Busch keeps peeking out from behind Greg Biffle. And this time he gets him.
Biffle's going to have his mirror full of another one that can make that move here in just a second as Ambrose approaches.
Caution out, Jason Leffler. And that's got a stream of liquid behind it. The aggressive move to the inside of Marcus Ambrose. Kyle Busch forced wide. Ambrose and Kyle Busch, 4th place.
As they continue to run over these curves, that little bit of moisture that we had there makes this curve and rubber strips even slicker. So as they try to maneuver over this, we might see some guys get out of shape.
Right in this section is where we saw most of the moisture when it did briefly rain during that call. Looks like the track's good though.
Those things are painted too, so that makes it even worse yet. Ambrose with the move.
Big dive to the inside. He's going to try and get 2 of them at once.
That's incredible. He got 2 cars in one corner.
I think Boyer has more of a problem than what they were talking about a minute ago, because he didn't get down in that corner very hard at all.
Ambrose to 3rd. Key moment right there when he passed Kyle Busch.
Sam Hornish there with a great day still going. Jimmy Johnson trying to get around him in that 8th spot.
I'm impressed with Matt Kenseth. He's in front of Sam Hornish. He's having a really good day. I said what he needed to do today was just be basically invisible, try to take advantage of maybe other people having problems, but man, he's part of the mix.
Sam Hornish, 48-22, racing there. Now Dale Jr. in the mix for that spot.
Dale Jr. there in the 88 trying to make a move from Sam Lawrence. Also had a solid day. Regan Smith, it's a little bit off course. Ryan Newman trying to take advantage.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. They're so narrow through that particular section. You can't really get side by side. It's like Regan Smith would gather back up as they exit that interval.
That whole group on camera gives me a second to catch up on a few things. Smith spent a long time on pit road earlier in the race when they had to repair the front splitter on that car. Ryan Newman, remember, pitted just as we went green on a restart earlier. Oh, Tony Stewart goes for a spin into the inside wall at pit entry.
Caution is out.
Question is, did he get some help?
He got a lot of damage too.
Yeah, inside of the inside guardrail there, right to the entry of pit road. Was there contact before that created that situation?
Get the back over here, guys. Get the back damage, get the deck lid down. Spoiler bin up. Yep, pull it out. Bumper bar. Bear bond on them.
They got a lot of time. They can work on this car for a couple of minutes before the caution car gets back around.
So Tony was second, Marcos Ambrose was third.
Back up here at the boss there with the boys here. Yeah, it's nice up there, ain't it? Pretty whip.
16 laps to go, 3 wide for the race lead, turn 1.
Wow, what a move by Kyle Busch.
Not done yet. Now it is.
Boyer and Smith will have a little contact there.
Getting aggressive with that damaged car back in the back.
It's got speed off.
He is on the lead lap in that 95 car. Solid run for Scott today in that team.
Making a big move on Dale Jr. to take a spot away. They're trying to. Here comes Jr. back.
That's 11th place. So Kyle Busch with a bold 3-wide move on a restart. With 16 laps to go, gets out in front after being squeezed back a couple of spots earlier on the last restart by a bold move from Marcos Ambrose.
Dale Jr. Martin Truex still arguing over that spot. You're finally able to come back out front with that. Speaking of the Kyle Busch deal, I don't know that we've seen anybody be able to get up to speed quicker than what Kyle Busch does on the restarts, whether he's leading or back in the pack.
I don't know what you do to defend against it either. What could Keselowski do there different to try to keep the lead? I mean, it's almost like he was defenseless to that move.
Talked about earlier, you get to the point in these races, these road course races for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, where it's not give and take. It's all take and no give.
We're in that zone of the race now where it is all take. If we have any more restarts, or if we don't, even if we run to the end, we're going to see a lot of push and shove.
Kyle Busch back to the front. He led the early segment of the race, got shuffled back by cautions and strategy. A bold move regains in the lead. And after falling back off these front two for a few laps, here comes Marcos Ambrose in the 9, back up to make it a 3-way fight.
Yeah, I can see Keselowski get loose right there on that left-hander.
Oh, Ambrose, speaking of loose. Little
See if he tries to outbrake him right here, though. Ambrose is great at this. Oh, little wheel hop.
Tight squeeze.
Kyle Busch is loving what he's seeing there. Oh, Ambrose not able to take it. Keselowski slips a little.
This is going to get out of hand quick.
Much doubt what was going to happen right there if he could make it through the corner.
Clear behind him.
And he does.
There you go.
So Ambrose to second. Keselowski back to third, with Greg Biffle taking opportunity of that side-by-side racing to close in, and Kyle Busch taking advantage of the side-by-side racing to get away.
Yeah, we watched Ambrose there as we were at commercial drop back a little bit. I think he was actually saving tires and his brakes a little bit to make a run at them. How about it, Mike?
I think you're absolutely right. Ambrose said before this race that he learned a lesson in Sonoma earlier this year on how to save tires, and that he would apply it here this weekend. That may have been the case. I just spoke with one of the team members, asked what he's saying on the radio. They told me absolutely nothing. We know Marcos. At this stage of the race, he's in the zone. He won't say anything unless something's wrong.
Well, he's in the zone for sure.
Yeah, you let you drive and do your talking right now. There's nothing to say. They're not making a pit stop. Only thing, he saved all the fuel that he can. He's had some cautions to help him. Todd Parrish giving him the car. His job to go catch that 18 if he can.
But the time he and Brad Keselowski spent in that hard fight for second allowed Kyle Busch to get away.
Yeah, there's a lot of laps left. I know it says 9 laps. You think that's not very many. It's a lot of racing here on this track. A lot of turns to negotiate. He's got a lot of time to make up.
Kyle Busch got the lead on the initial start. He was on the outside of the front row. Got ahead of Juan Pablo Montoya in turn 1, led the opening run of the race, but Joe Nemechek slow. Trying to make it back around to the pit lane.
I'd say maybe he's had a transmission problem or something like that. Trying to make it back.
Yeah. 2 laps to go.
It's like Keselowski's car did come back to him. It's just maybe a little too late.
See there, if Ambrose happens to make a little bit of a mistake, Brad will be there to take advantage. Right there's a little bit of a mistake on the 9 car. Well, it's a mistake. It just looked like his handling's going away on him.
Yeah, bobbing and weaving around a lot. Lap and a half to go. Keselowski aggressively after Ambrose. Here he goes for second.
He's got position on him in the right place.
He made a great move through the inner loop. He slid that thing through there and jumped back into gas. He could see that Ambrose's car was really going away.
Look at that 9's bobbing around.
I see the 18 moving around like he might be out of fuel.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Andy. I was wondering if he was running out of fuel here.
Coming to the white flag.
I'll tell you, the 2 cars close that gap.
I don't know if it's that or if he thinks he might have a flat tire or something like that. He's really moving the car around. It doesn't look very stable right now.
1 lap to go. Kyle Busch, defensive line into turn 1.
There's something wrong with the 18.
Now Ambrose trying to get second from Keselowski while he tries to get the lead from Kyle. Contact in the S's.
It's right. Gotcha.
Dangerous spot on the track for Kyle to be sideways. Looks like he gets off to the guardrail. No caution yet. Here's the race for the lead.
Keselowski's got damage on the left front.
Is the tire going to make it all the way around?
Lock him here. Lock him.
And will the 9 help him? Everybody's in the grass.
Oh, you're clear. Dig.
That might have been the race right there. We'll see. No, Keselowski's slower. Keselowski's got a problem. trying to stay with Ambrose. 2 final corners. Do they use the bumpers? A nudge, a push. Can Ambrose save it? To the checkered flag. Who gets here first?
Clear, clear.
Ambrose, 9. Keselowski, 2. Final corner. Ambrose is going to win at Watkins Glen in a remarkable last lap turn of events.
All right, first-time winner of the NASCAR 3 Cup Series, baby. Woo!
Jeff Gordon in the wall. That's off the final corner. I so badly want to hear from Ambrose and Keselowski to find out what in the world was going on in that last lap and a half.
Everybody, what happened to Kyle Busch's car? That was a year's worth of excitement in 2.45 miles. Incredible.
It's almost like the 2 car would go and then stop and then go. And it's almost like it was out of fuel, but he's still running.
Vince?
I'm with Dave Rogers. He's the crew chief for Kyle Busch, communicating now to the team. Dave, what happened with Kyle's car?
Well, the 47 broke. You see him, he just went by smoking. He broke. He let oil down all over the track. And we just got caught in the oil and allowed the 2 car to get to us. Then 2 car raced us the way he raced us. So good car. Kyle did a great effort. Really proud of everyone on this M&M's Toyota Camry team. Work fast. They know we're here, but we didn't get the job done today.
So there was nothing wrong with the 18 car. He just got in the oil of the 47.
No, there's oil all over the racetrack, and it's just hard to go.
Thanks, Dave. Alan?
Well, that explains a lot right there. There's probably oil all the way around the track, and that's why we couldn't figure out exactly what was going on.
So Marcos Ambrose with the first ever last lap pass for the win at Watkins Glen. Brad Keselowski having to settle for second, but Dave, he's smiling a lot as he shares.
Well, he's congratulating everybody on Marcus Ambrose team. Tell us what happened on that last lap, Brad.
18 was leaking fluid, something fierce, and the track was just had no grip at all. And when I caught him, he had leaked really bad into 1 and missed the corner because he was slipping his own oil. And I got under him going into 2, and we all slipped in his oil, and I hit him and it spun him. And, I mean, I hate to say there was nothing I could do, but there was literally nothing I could do. It was just one big giant oil slick underneath his car, and I feel bad about that. And then it just came down to running a whole lap against Marcos, and I got in the oil and would slip up, and he'd get by me, and then he'd get in the oil and slip up, and I'd get by him, and just really good, hard racing. So beating and banging. I think that's the way racing should be. It's great to race against guys like Marcus. Thanks, man. It's great to race against guys like Marcus that you can rub on, lean on, and they don't lose their cool and just intentionally wreck you. That's what racing's supposed to be right there. A good driver with a little bit of bumping and rubbing, but none of that intentional wrecking BS. Marcus is a class act. That's the way racing should be.
The emotion not quite as intense as a year ago, but believe me, they are very happy here in Victory Lane. What a dramatic last lap. How would you describe it?
Oh man, it just feels so good to be back in Victory Lane. Thank you to Sprint, Stanley, DeWalt, Mac Tools, Ford, Rich Petty Motorsports, everyone that gets us here, you know. Just feels so good. Last year was relief, this year's just pure joy. Big shout out to Dad, he's been in hospital all week. I wish I could be there for you, but I hope it makes you feel better, and just pump for my team, pump for Todd Parrott, and just a great day.
What about that last lap? How were you able to take advantage of the 18's misfortune and bring this car to Victory Lane again?
Well, I was the first one to slip on the oil and let Brad past, and it was just getting worse and worse, and you could tell the car was staying out there because you know, the oil was moving around the racetrack, and you just take your chances. You know, you got to commit at that point of the race. And bad luck to Kyle. Great racing though with Kyle and Brad. I mean, they're the two best guys to race with. Just awesome fun, and that's the way racing should be. And we got the number 9 Stanley Ford in victory lane.
With 3 laps to go, though, the 2 got by you. It seemed like it was slipping out of reach. What were your thoughts then?
Yeah, I just burned everything up. You know, our strategy was to do 3 stops. All of a sudden, that caution come out. We had to pit, and we came out in 9th or 10th or something. And I just used my stuff up coming through, and you just got to take Lady Luck when she strikes, and it was our day.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.